My father was one of the most intelligent person I have ever known in my life. This is not sentimentality and this is not exaggeration. This is simply the truth. He passed away when he was only 43 years old and I was 18. For more than 20 years, I have been living without him. Yet, even today, I still remember his face, his voice, his advice. I feel the sense of warmth, safety, and gratitude. There is one sentence that repeatedly he was telling me during my childhood. Think before you act. At the time, I didn't fully understand what he meant. Like most teenagers, I believed I knew more. I made decisions based on impulse, emotions, and confidence. Not because I was arrogant, but because I lacked experience. Only later, when life introduced me real hardship, failure and uncertainties, and responsibility, did I begin understand the depth of hidden inside what he was trying to teach me. When difficult situation happened in my life, I often found myself asking, what should I do? And in these moments, I imagined talking to my father. I would ask him for advice. And sometimes I could remember exactly what he would have said. Other times I couldn't. But sometimes deep inside me, I could feel the deep several choices. There was one path that was wiser than the others. It felt if his wisdom become a part of my thinking. And years later, I discovered a framework that explained the depth of teaching that he was trying to pass through me. There was a missing link in his teaching that I was not able to understand. As parents, friends, mentors, we often tell people, do this, do that. We say, study this subject, work harder, be patient, be disciplined, think before you act. But rarely we explain how they should do it. And the question of how is the most important part. Knowing what to do and knowing how to do are completely different knowledges. My father told me, think before acting. Years later, I discovered a practical answer to the question how we should think. The first dimension, recursive thinking. While I was studying in University of Oslo, we were introduced the Bellman Recursive Optimization Program. Suddenly, something clicked in me. The principle is simple. Start thinking where you want to be in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. Define your destination with clarity. Then move backwards. If that future that you have defined is your destination, then what is the exit before that moment? What should exist before you hit your target? And what should exist before that? And before that. Step by step, you move backwards from the future until you arrive at now moment. Suddenly, the future stops being as a dream. And I call this dream target equilibrium thinking. Once you put equal sign between your dream and your target, you have gained your clarity about definition of your dream and target. Hence, from the future till now moment, you have a roadmap. The method transformed the way I planned my career, my business decisions, my professional life development, even my personal relationships. Instead of wandering through life, I started designing the roadmap from my dream back to my current situation. Yet, knowing where you want to go is only the small part of the challenge. The map is visible, but the journey itself is still unpredictable. Once I understood how to define the destination, I needed a way to navigate through the time. I needed a way to navigate to unexpected twists of life events and turns that inevitably appearing path that I want to go through. Yet, applying dynamic optimization within Bellman framework was still not enough. Because in every stage of life, we should have a strategy which will lead us from one point to the other, while helping us to remain within the defined roadmap. And as you know, life is not mathematical equation. Life contains uncertainty. You do not know what events will happen. You do not know which opportunities will appear. You do not know which obstacles will come to pass or hinder you. You do not know which obstacles will emerge. This is when the game theory entered into my life. Game theory taught me a critical lesson that planning is never enough. You must also prepare responses. You need a strategy for managing the uncertainty. You ask yourself, if this happens, what I should do? If I fail, what I will do next? If I lose my job, what is my next move? Or if the success arrives, how will I manage it? In game theory, this is called best response strategy, which is to say, for every possible event, you should have clear-cut protocol of action. Notice I use the word action and not reaction. The definition and the difference of action and reaction is that action is measurable and predefined movement, while reaction can be spontaneous, impulsive. Hence, we exclude all possible reactions as a response to an event that will be revealed in our life. In real life, this means mentally being prepared for every type of outcome. In real life, this means mentally preparing yourself before circumstances arrive. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond intentionally. This insight completed recursive thinking in a perfect manner. One helped me to chart the course ahead, while the other one prepared me being ready for the realities which will come during my journey. Even with having the destination and best response function, there was still one missing critical factor that determined either would work in practice or not. Imagine a young professional who finally obtained his dream job. The salary is perfect, the position is perfect, the opportunities are perfect, but the environment is toxic. Without emotional intelligence, he may lose all opportunities he worked for years to manifest. Knowledge alone is not enough. Strategy alone is not enough. People will challenge you. People will frustrate you. People will criticize you. Life will disappoint you. And if every external factor controls your emotions, then external event controls your entire life. Emotional intelligence is the ability to remain sovereign over your inner world while navigating through the world. Or telling simply, emotional intelligence is the driving power of your life through the storms if that power is not integrated with your navigation system and with your destination, you will arrive nowhere. Emotional intelligence is the knowingness when to speak, what to speak, when to remain silent, when to push forward, when to step back, when to forgive, and when to persist. Here is, we arrived to the three-dimensional framework, which I call unfailing system of achievement. Over a time, I realized that the most powerful framework I had discovered is the combination of clarity, ability to plan, strategy to navigate through your roadmap, and inner discipline. So, here is three-dimensional framework. First, recursive thinking. Know where you want to go. Second, best response strategy. Know how you will respond to uncertainty. Third, emotional intelligence. Know how you will manage yourself while executing your plan. Together, they create three-dimensional model for building a beautiful life. A destination, a strategy, and emotional mastery. When these three dimensions work together, life becomes more resilient. Not because difficulties disappear, but because you become capable of navigating.